Hello, welcome to Avocado's English Podcast. I'm so happy you're here today because we are going to talk about something that helps you speak English better. Quick thinking. When you can think fast, you feel more confident and people understand you more clearly. It's not just about talking fast, but being calm and smart in your conversations. I remember one time I was in a small job interview. The interviewer asked me, "What is your biggest strength?" I knew the answer very well, but my brain felt slow. I hesitated and said, I think I'm good at teamwork. It was simple, but I wished I spoke more clearly and fast. After the interview, I thought about better answers and felt a bit sad. Have you ever felt like that? Quick thinking helps you avoid these moments. When you respond quickly, you sound confident and ready. This is very important in interviews, meetings, or even talking with friends. People trust someone who can answer quickly, not someone who takes too long. But don't worry. Thinking fast is a skill that you can learn with practice. Just like learning to ride a bike or play a game, today I will share simple ways to help you think and speak faster in English. We will talk about why quick thinking is useful, what makes it hard, and easy steps you can try every day. I also want to share stories from my own experience, so you feel connected and learn how to use these tips in real life. So, take a deep breath and get ready to improve your English speaking skills with me. Remember, it's okay to make mistakes and learn slowly. What matters is to keep trying and never give up. Have you ever felt stuck when speaking English? Maybe you wanted to say something, but your mind went blank. This is very normal, and I want to tell you why it happens. There are some common problems that slow down your quick thinking. First, there is overthinking. Sometimes, you want to say the perfect sentence, so you think a lot before speaking. For example, I remember texting my friend last week. I wrote a message, then erased it, and wrote again 5 times. By the time I sent it, the conversation was over. This happens in speaking too. If you try to make perfect sentences in your head, the moment passes, and you miss your chance to talk. Second, many people fear making mistakes. When I started learning Spanish, I was very afraid of sounding wrong. I would stop and think too long before speaking because I didn't want to look silly. But mistakes are normal, and they help us learn. If you don't try, you cannot get better. Third, there is the problem of freezing. Sometimes, when someone asks a question, your brain just stops. I remember at a party someone asked me, "What's your favorite movie?" I love movies, but I was so nervous I couldn't answer. I just smiled and said, "Oh, I like many." This is a mental block, and it happens to everyone sometimes. Finally, if English is not your first language, the language barrier can slow your thoughts. You may know the word in your language, but forget it in English when you need it most. It's okay, this happens to all learners. Knowing these problems is the first step to solving them. In the next sections, I will tell you some tricks that helped me and many others speak faster and with more confidence. One of the best ways to think quickly is to stay calm. When you feel nervous, your brain can get stuck, making it hard to find the right words. I remember one time when I had to give a speech in front of many people. My heart was beating fast, and I forgot what I wanted to say. But then I took a slow, deep breath. Just that little pause helped me feel better and start talking clearly again. You can try this too. When someone asks you a question, don't rush. Take a slow breath before you answer. This small pause gives your brain time to work and helps you avoid saying the wrong thing. Another trick that works well is using time fillers. These are small phrases that you say to give yourself a few extra seconds to think. For example, when someone asks you something and you're not sure how to answer right away, you can say, "That's a good question," or "Let me think about that." These phrases sound natural and help the conversation flow smoothly. I often use time fillers when I forget someone's name. Instead of staying silent and feeling embarrassed, I say, "I remember you from," and while I say that, I quickly try to remember the name. It's like giving your brain a little more time to find the answer without making the moment awkward. The important thing is to make these fillers sound natural, not like you are hiding or nervous. Practicing them in your daily conversations will help a lot. You'll feel more relaxed and ready to speak without rushing. Preparing what you want to say can help you think faster. When you expect certain questions or topics, your brain gets ready to answer. For example, before a job interview, I always think about questions the interviewer might ask, like "Tell me about yourself" or "What are your strengths?" I practice simple answers in my mind. This helps me feel ready and less nervous. It's like playing a game where you guess what will happen next. If you prepare, you don't get surprised. When you meet new people, you can also prepare a few easy questions or answers, such as "How are you?" or "What do you like to do?" These small steps help conversations go smoothly. Another important tip is to speak in simple sentences. When you try to use long or difficult sentences, you might get confused or stuck. I remember when I first started learning English, I tried to say big sentences, but forgot the words in the middle. Then I learned to say short and clear sentences, like "I like music" or "I work in a school." People understand you better, and you feel more confident. Imagine explaining something to a child. You would use simple words and short sentences so they understand easily. This is the same for everyday conversations in English. Clear and simple is always better than long and complicated. Keep practicing short sentences and prepare answers for common questions. This will make your speaking faster and more natural over time. Listening carefully is one of the best ways to think quickly during a conversation. When you pay attention to what someone says, it is easier to know how to answer. For example, if your friend asks, "How was your weekend?" and you listen well, you will hear the question clearly and can quickly say, "It was good. I went to the park." Listening helps your brain get ready to respond. I once had a conversation where I wasn't paying attention. Someone asked me, "What do you think about the new restaurant?" I was thinking about something else and didn't hear the question. Well, I gave a wrong answer, and they looked confused. After that, I learned to focus more and listen closely. It makes talking easier and faster. Another good trick is paraphrasing. This means repeating or changing the words of the person who is speaking. For example, if someone asks, "What do you think about the weather today?" you can say, "The weather today. I think it is nice and sunny." This gives you a few extra seconds to think and shows the other person that you are listening carefully. Paraphrasing also helps when the question is difficult. You can say, "So, you want to know about my job," and then give your answer. This is a good way to feel more confident and keep the conversation going. Remember, speaking quickly does not mean talking fast. It means understanding the other person and giving clear answers. Listening well and using paraphrasing are great skills to help you speak better English. Practicing is the best way to get better at thinking fast in English. One fun way to practice is called improvisation, or improv. It means speaking without planning too much and going with the flow. For example, you can play a game with a friend where one person says a word like apple, and the other says the first word that comes to mind, like juice. This game helps your brain react quickly and makes you comfortable with speaking on the spot. Another good exercise is storytelling. Give yourself 30 seconds to tell a short story about any word you choose. For example, if the word is holiday, you can say, "Last holiday, I went to the beach. The sun was warm, and I swam in the sea." Don't worry about mistakes, just keep talking. This practice helps your brain get used to thinking and speaking at the same time. From staying calm and using fillers to planning simple sentences and listening well, all these tips work together to help you speak English more confidently and quickly. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about trying, practicing, and learning every day. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to think fast and talk smart. If you like this lesson, please like and subscribe to Avocado's English Podcast for more easy English tips and stories. Keep practicing, and I'll see you next time.